Welcome. Today's short story is titled Lying 2, Playing All 3. The Story of Lefty Leigh. A short story about golf and the game of life. The author is Donovan Marcello. He is a freelance writer whose passion is capturing the real-life stories of real people. His style speaks from both the first-person narrative and the third-party observer. He captures drama in the unfolding of events and circumstances of each character throughout their journey. He observes the characters as they navigate life, relationships, triumphs, and of course, the tragedies. He is a master at dissecting the interplay of each character's personal struggles to hold on to their true self, as they face their fears, insecurities and doubts which surface over the course of their life and in their relationships. The story is focused on the two main characters, Leigh Lindsay and Donovan Marcello. There are two minor players, but each has a very significant role in how the story unfolds. The author weaves a very intriguing tapestry of Leigh's relationship with each of the players, all of whom are men. The story opens with a montage about golf. The introduction provides the reader with a short summary of the nuances of the game and the unique manner of how the game is scored. In golf, each player is called to play the game, in possession of an impeccable measure of two core values, truth and honesty. Why? Because these two fundamental values are required to maintain the integrity of the game. He overlays these same values as the required ingredients in all relationships. This framework of golf and life, with the same core values, sets the narrative for the story of Lefty Leigh. The first several chapters follow Leigh's journey through adolescence into her mid-teen years. Then, tragedy strikes. The impact of her loss defines the struggle which plays out for the duration of the story. The second leading character is Donovan. He enters the picture when Leigh turns 30. In her effort to make connections and enjoy companionship, she struggles with her desire for closeness and her fear pushing to create distance. Their story is weaved together by the thread of Leigh's secrets, more precisely, her secret relationships with other players in her game. While Leigh works diligently to compartmentalize and control her relationships, her plan eventually collapses. Throughout the tale, the author digs deep into the psyche of each character. He exposes their contemplations, revealing the tension in the standoff between their true self and the other side. He never uses the word, but the other side as ego. The story closes with a first-person epilogue, spoken by Donovan. He reconstructs what happened, connecting the dots from the conversations, the events and Leigh's secrets. He resolves the relationship with a surprising revelation. The book is available on Amazon.com. To purchase an ebook or print copy, click on one of the buttons located throughout the website. Or, go to Amazon.com and enter Lying 2, Playing All 3, in the search bar. For your listening pleasure, the audiobook, Lying 2, Playing All 3, is available for download. The format is MP3 and can be played on most audio devices, including iPhone and Android. The book is divided into 3 64 meg audio files. Click on any of the Buy Audiobook links to purchase the audiobook. Finally, Donovan would appreciate reviews and comments. You can leave your feedback by selecting the comment link in the main menu bar at the top of the page. We will keep you posted about new titles as they are made available. My name is Amy McIntyre. If you would like more information about my services, please visit me on the web at amymcintyre.com. For your listening pleasure, the author has provided several sample cuts for your enjoyment. Golf and life. Of all competitive sports, golf is a totally unique game. It is the only competitive sport where points are scored on a field of play which is never the same. Every game of golf is played on a totally unique field. All golf courses are different. Every hole is different. Every sand trap, every tee box, every putting surface, different. In the game of football, the field is 100 yards long and 55 yards wide. Every football game is played on the exact same field with the exact same dimensions. Basketball, baseball, soccer, rugby, tennis, and even track and field. In golf, every field, every game, is different. Another interesting facet of the golf game is, no two scoring shots are ever the same. Never. In basketball, a player can stand at the exact center point of the three-point line and take a shot. The shot will be the same each time he lines up from that spot on the court. Golf. Not so. When two golfers hit a driver off the tee on a 440-yard par 4 dogleg left. As soon as each player strikes the ball, they are playing a different second shot. Sure, they both will hit a second shot and may score the same, a par. But their score was made under completely different conditions. The first player hit to the right, the second split the fairway. The first player's ball was in 3-inch Bermuda rough. The second player was off 1/4 cut turf. They are playing completely different courses. That is the nature of golf. But golf has one peculiarity which separates it into a category by itself. Golf is a game which is scored by each player who is also responsible for marshalling his play according to the rules of the game. In other words, the player is responsible for determining if he has violated a rule or not. If he has violated a rule, he must assess himself a penalty. I wonder, on a 4th and 1 in the Super Bowl, with the outcome yet to be determined, if the running back swept the right side and was tackled at the yard to gain, he's carrying the ball. He knows where the first down marker sits and the yard to be cross. Say it was the 25-yard line with a chalk strip 4.5 inches wide. As he is falling, with the ball in his arm, he is close. He has chalk on his arm. He has all the information to rule. What would he rule? First down? Ball goes over on downs. He was short. Scoring in golf, thus, winning a game of golf is solely dependent on honesty, integrity, honor, accountability and the most critical component, trust. Without any one of these, the game is not the game of golf. Without these in place within each competitor, there are no rules. Yes, each player would make up their own rules. Then the game of golf would not be. Golf and life are the same in many ways, particularly relationship life. No two people walk the same path with the same circumstances on their journey. People born on the same day don't. Children born into the same family with the same advantages, they don't either. Like each player is challenged within golf, in the game of life players must score from wherever their ball lands. Once they are on the first tee of life, they take that first swing. When hit their first shot, they are on their own. Whatever skill they have walking from shot to shot is an accumulation of the knowledge they gained in all their previous shots and rounds. But the next shot? That one they have never played before from the same place with the same circumstances as any other player. Relationship life is like that too. The playing field of an intimate relationship is different for every player in the relationship game. The course is mostly unknown. In fact, the end of the game is completely unknown to both players. Their relationship is played between them while each is consumed in their individual game of life which they are playing on a course they have never seen or played before either. The relationship game has the same rules structure as golf. Players must bring a set of values with them to play the game: honesty, integrity, accountability and, like golf, trust. If these concepts are malleable depending on the circumstances, the game will likely end before its allotted time. If a player has a soft definition of the enforcement of concepts in their independent life, that softness will be what they bring to their relationship life. Now, from Chapter 4, The Front Nine, Finding Her Game. He was an instructor at a local golf training center. Her chance meeting with Gary was the result of Leigh's passion for golf. He always introduced himself with a slight air of humbled importance, maybe as one of the partners or the head instructor. These were tried and tested icebreakers for Gary with the ladies. When Leigh arrived one day and took her spot in a practice bay, her presence went largely unnoticed. That was until the snap of the ball rocketing off her driver cascaded through the building. Gary, he noticed. He rounded the corner to see what young stud was going to be his next protégé. Gary found it wasn't a he after all. He casually introduced himself with a bit of small talk. "What college do you play for?" he said. He assessed she was clearly not a beginner, his experience knew better. I didn't play in college." She giggled without looking up. "Oh really? Well, you must have started early, 6, 8, 10 years old?" he said. "No, I messed around as a kid when we lived by a golf course overseas. I just picked up the sport again here recently." She smiled, teeing up another ball. It would be a travesty to assign the word understatement to the reaction and look on Gary's face. He managed his observation of her presence as many men had in Leigh's life. Stunned, silent, awestruck by her talent. A sidebar insert about Leigh is appropriate and well overdue. Leigh was New York runway model gorgeous. At 5'9" plus, her frame was a silky smooth silhouette of strength and beauty. Dark chocolate brown eyes, a perfectly balanced nose on a symmetrically perfect facial structure. High cheeks framed her perfect smile. The most gorgeous white teeth. Perfectly shaped legs and broad shoulders sculpted like an Athenian goddess. Her movements flowed with the power and precision of a finely tuned 12-cylinder Lamborghini, in a peach tennis skirt and black top. Her smooth fluid swing, sensuality and sexual aura captured his imagination. This woman, Gary rendered, was an immense untapped talent. He was clear. He was not letting this talent get away. Leigh was the whole 9 yards. Her schoolgirl charm, sharp witty banter, and the ability to be laser-focused on perfecting her swing, was tied neatly together in a statue-worthy exterior. Her serious voice she engaged when responding to instruction. That was her I can be an adult persona. The other part of Leigh peeked out on occasion when she filled the air with her cute childlike giggle. Yes, the giggle you would hear when an 8-year-old girl watched Prince Charming plant a kiss or kneel to pet one of his forest friends in a Disney classic. The final sample is from Chapter 8, The 18th Hole, Meltdown. This sample reveals a bit more of the author's probe into the psyche of the characters. But Donovan had one more question. This one seemed to be something Leigh had not processed. "Leigh, have you had sex with Gary since you got back?" He dug deeper. "No, I have not." She spoke firmly. "Well, I can promise you Gary remembers every time you had sex. And he remembers every yummy detail of your delicious body and every curve and moan. He remembers the first time and the last time. Guaranteed. He's a man. Do you know this is how men are? He envisions and dreams about more steamy nights having sex with you. That is what he is holding on to. You are playing him by allowing the thread of connection with him. He is holding on to hope. Do you understand what you are doing to this guy, Leigh?" He spoke the words to emphasize the gravity of her choice to deceive Gary. "Well, not really." "What do you mean?" she said. "Leigh, are you kidding? Would you like me to paint you a picture? Tell you what he is remembering about having sex with you?" "No," she declared. "Okay, then trust me, he is. He will hold on to that hope with a death grip, with every ounce of strength in his body, until you tell him it's over. Or tell him the truth about your relationships and dating and other men." "Do you owe him the truth?" he asked. She concluded, maybe she did. But she was not going to tell him the truth anytime soon. Her answers and perspective were unsettling. This was calculated deception. Not just to Gary, but she had deceived Donovan. It was all part of the same lie. Donovan was upset. They ended the call. Later that evening, he sent Leigh a harsh email. A raw exchange followed. Discussing the events, the call, Leigh never addressed the fact she had made a choice to deceive both Gary and Donovan. Leigh was resolute about how she viewed what she had done. She told Donovan, if he wanted to be in her life, he had to accept her choice. If not, he could move on. Donovan was stunned. If truth and honesty were a part of Leigh's core values, they were now paired with a most unusual compatriot, deception. How do truth and deception sleep in the same bed? They don't. They can't. In all of their conversations and time together, this was a side of Leigh she had not revealed. The book is available on Amazon.com. To purchase an ebook or print copy, click on one of the buttons located throughout the website. Or, go to Amazon.com and enter line 2, playing all 3. For your listening pleasure, the audiobook is available for download. The format is MP3 and can be played on most audio devices, including iPhone and Android. The book is divided into 3 64-meg audio files. Click on any of the Buy Audiobook links to purchase the audiobook. Enjoy.